Hello, my name is Jitters, and welcome back to another episode of Why Everybody Plays, a series of mine where I talk about the agents in Valorant with the highest pick rates. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Sova. I absolutely love having a Sova on my team. He's been a staple pick in the meta basically since the game came out and has never once been anything less than a great pick. He's a must pick on most maps in the game, and playing Valorant with a Sova on your team makes the game so much easier. But before we talk about why Sova's so great, I usually start by talking about their weaknesses or shortcomings. And for Sova, there isn't any. Alright, thank you. Let's move on. Okay, but seriously, there are a few things I wanted to mention, but they honestly aren't really that big of a deal in my opinion. But I might as well mention them anyways. For one, he's a team-based agent. This is usually a big point for a lot of the agents I've covered in my Why Nobody Plays series like Astra and Breach, but for Sova, this isn't really big enough to weigh him down. For one, why do I say he's team-based? Well, the truth is that Sova's honestly at his best when he's able to set up his team for kills. His drone is really nice, but usually the person you tag with it is killed by a duelist or whoever else is peeking off of it. And you can kind of make the same argument for his recon dart. But again, if he's such a team-based agent, then why doesn't this weigh him down the way it does other agents like Astra? Well, to be honest, even though Sova's at his best when setting up teammates, he can still use his utility for himself. He can shoot a recon dart, reveal someone, and get a wallbang or a kill through a smoke. He can also drone, ping someone, and then take the space his drone created because usually the person you ping starts running away when they're revealed. Not to mention he can also take advantage of that to kill through smokes and get wallbang kills too. So although using his utility to set up teammates is usually the most effective way to use his kit, it's not the only way, which really sets him apart from some of the other team-based agents. The second point I wanted to bring up is that contrary to what a lot of players think, Sova isn't actually strong on every map. Specifically, he isn't really the strongest pick on Split. This is because on most maps, a well-placed recon dart can basically clear a whole site. For example, on Haven, you can dart the back of C long to clear literally everything. But the difference with Split is that there's so much geometry in the way on basically the entire map. This means that your darts aren't able to clear as many angles and therefore don't get as much value. When pushing B, you have to choose between shooting your dart for the back corner or for sight. For A, you can clear back sight, but there's no way to clear elbow with that same arrow. Some players can kind of make him work on Split, but honestly for the most part I'd probably just stay away from playing him there. So with that being said, I've covered all the weak points I wanted to mention when it comes to Sova. Again, there really isn't that much to talk about since he's such a well-rounded agent with a great kit. So now I think it's time I talk about all the pros of playing Sova. For starters, Sova's the best info gathering agent in the game, period. His signature ability scans an entire area and anyone within line of sight of it can be seen through walls from anywhere on the map. And in case you were picking your nose when it happened, there's also a loud sound cue to let you know that someone was scanned. Second, his drone is honestly probably the best ability in the game. You can use it as an entry to clear every corner for your team. Your team can follow it to take that space without ever risking dying. And you can tag someone with it to make them visible through walls for 3 pings. And just like the recon dart, if you were playing with your feet, it also has a loud sound cue to remind you that an enemy is ready to die. There's also no way for enemies to be able to cheese your team with shotguns or by playing really dumb angles, because Sova can always fish them out and tell your whole team exactly where they are. The only problem I can think of with the drone is that sometimes players are impatient and walk past the drone and die. But that's not really the drone's fault, is it? The second strength I wanted to talk about when it comes to Sova is that his shock darts are one of the most versatile abilities in the game. Let's talk about all of the things you can do with the shock darts. They can kill enemies trying to defuse or plant the bomb. They're probably the best ability in the game at destroying other util. There are so many lineups to destroy stuff like Killjoy's ultimate from really safe positions. They're also probably the most common ability used to destroy enemy cipher trips. And the thing that makes them even better is that if you do a lineup that requires 2 bounces and they destroy any util, you'll get a voice line to let you know that enemy util was destroyed. You can use shock darts to clear certain corners or cubbies you think enemies might be playing in. You can use them to stall pushes or even deal chip damage to enemies as they're pushing. All in all, there are so many ways to use his shock darts, and the lineups that you can learn with them effectively make their potential nearly limitless. The third strength I wanted to talk about is that Sova has an extremely powerful ultimate. In the right hands, it's effectively a free kill every time it's online, making those rounds a 4v5 before they even start. And it's not uncommon for really good Sovas to sometimes even get 2 kills, or at least hit a second enemy for 80 damage. Not only is it strong, but it's also very versatile. You can use it in combination with his recon dart or drone to ping enemies and then ult them to confirm a kill. You can use it to blind ult to clear corners for your team as they push onto a site. You can use it to stall on post plants by killing enemies trying to defuse the bomb. You can use it to stop enemies from planting the bomb. You can use it to finally return your mom's calls. This ult literally does everything. But the thing with the ult is that its power level scales with the skill of the player using it. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll probably think this ult sucks since it can be hard to hit enemies while they're running. But the better you get with it, the more and more value you'll get out of it. And for 8 ult points, you'll probably be able to win 2 free rounds a half if you learn how to use it properly. Now finally for my last point, which is that Sova's a high skill cap agent with almost infinite potential. Literally every ability in his kit provides an insane amount of value and maximized to its highest potential. But honestly, no matter how good you get with this kit, you'll probably never be good enough to reach his max potential. With nearly limitless lineups you can learn and memorize on every map for both of his darts, 2 shock darts that can effectively guarantee a free kill every single round, the ability to freehand darts on the fly to make a play, and his ultimate that can confirm 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 kills in rare cases. There's always something you can do better in a round. Even if you have a theoretically perfect round, you won't have one every single round in a game. And not only that, but Sova's one of the few agents in the game that has this crazy high skill ceiling without punishing new players too harshly. Let's take the worst case scenario. You're brand new to the game and you have no idea what's going on. Even if you don't take the time to learn any lineups, practice with his ultimate, or understand how the game even works, his drone will always get you and your team free value. Even if you can't ping an enemy, just clearing a few corners for your team and seeing the enemy can sometimes be enough to take a site safely. And even if you can't consistently use his ultimate to cash in on a free kill, you can always use it to ult planters or on a post plant, which requires no real skill besides listening to a sound cue. Sova is one of the only agents in the game that's a staple in pro play, has a crazy high skill ceiling, and is also easy enough for lower ranked players to actually be able to get good value out of him. And just one last quick point to add before I wrap this video up, is that Sova also has a huge community around him. With popular content creators like Average Jonas showing off what he can do, and tons of players inventing new lineups every day, even a year after this game was released, I still somehow keep seeing more insane creative arrows consistently every week. Being a Sova main can feel less like you're just picking an agent to play and more like joining a club. And I think this community and the feeling of being able to contribute by coming up with your own lineups definitely incentivizes more people to want to pick him up. And I think that's why everybody plays Sova. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video, please leave a comment letting me know. Also, if you're interested in checking out my Twitch at twitch.tv/jittersval, I'll leave a link in the description. I stream every Saturday from 2 to 6 PM EST. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Valorant related content.